You may find this shocking. Most entrepreneurs are not stuck because they're doing too little. They're stuck because they're doing too much, too many of the wrong things. We've all been sold this myth that scaling means doing more, that it means adding more offers, more funnels, more platforms, more content, more tactics. And if you're wired this way, and I am, your brain happily obliges. It loves ideas. It loves options. It loves being busy. But the people who break through, they don't do it that way. They do it by subtracting their way to success. This is what I call scaling by subtraction. Instead of piling on more, the right approach is to strip away everything that dilutes your focus and your energy and your field. This way, what's left can take flight and grow. And I call it the alchemy of ruthless focus. And I call it that because this is literally transmutation in your business, taking scattered effort, fragmented attention, and a junkyard full of half-built projects and compressing them into a focused, coherent beam of execution that actually pushes your business forward. Let's take a quick scan of your current reality. I've got some questions for you. How many offers do you technically have going on right now? All of them. Live offers, in development ones, I'll launch it later ones. How many social media platforms do you think you're supposed to be on? And who said so? Is it one, three, five? Now, how many of your projects are sitting at 40% completion, maybe 70%, maybe 90%? Some of them have been undone for months, some for years, maybe even permanently. I call this addiction to addition. Maybe you said it yourself. Once I finish this new funnel, things will really start to move. Maybe. If I add just one more low ticket offer, then the whole value ladder will make sense. Or maybe I just need to post more. I need to be everywhere. Then the algorithms will love me. Look, here's the problem. Every new thing you add doesn't just cost time. It costs attention bandwidth. And you know this. Attention is the real currency of your business. Addiction, and that is hard to say. It costs you attention. It costs you your own attention, and it costs you your customers' attention. The cost of more shows up as fragmented focus. You never stay with anything long enough for it to be finished and create value for you. And energetic drag. Every open loop, every undone thing in your business is an open loop in your nervous system. And maybe you've heard this. If everything is important, nothing is important. It's like a tax you pay for all that addition. It's like a tax on doing more. And the alternative is not burn your to-do list and go live in Bali. And it's not some kind of fake it minimalism. Ruthless focus means you decide what you are going to focus on at all costs. Here are 3 questions you can use that help cut through the noise. What creates disproportionate results when it gets my real attention? Not what's fun or what's fashionable, but what actually moves the needle on revenue, impact, and positioning. Second question, if I could only run one offer, one channel, and track one metric for the next 12 months, what would I choose? This choice of yours, I call it the power core. That's the business you'd build if you weren't trying to have everybody as a customer. What am I maintaining out of fear, vanity, or inertia? So fear, if I let this go, I'll lose the opportunity. Vanity, it makes me look bigger, more advanced, more expert. And inertia, I've already built this thing. It would be such a hassle and what a waste of time to shut it down. Look, ruthless focus is not about less for less sake. It's about being honest about what actually creates a quantum result for you and letting that dictate your behavior. So let's take a quick subtraction audit across 4 parts of your business. How many offers are you trying to fulfill? If you stop promoting half of them for 30 days, what, if anything, would truly break in your business? Where are you trying to be visible right now? Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok. email, podcasts, all of those? If I forced you to choose one main channel where your ideal clients can actually see you, feel you, and buy from you, what channel would you bet the farm on? And how many active projects is your business carrying? Courses, funnels, launches, rebrands, new lead magnets, or maybe a membership revamp? Are any of those mission critical? Get rid of the projects that aren't. And now let's look at this. How many recurring decisions are you making that should be turned into policies instead? You know, things like what to post, when to post, what to charge, what to say yes to, how to onboard new clients. Anything you decide more than once is begging to be turned into a rule, a system, or a template. Here's an exercise for you to put in your notes. Make 3 lists. Everything you're selling, everything you're building, and everything you're maintaining. Now go through this line by line ruthlessly and ask them, what would happen if I stopped doing this? If I stopped working on this for the next 30 days? Be honest with yourself. If the answer is for any of those things, nothing major or nothing important, then that's a solid candidate for subtraction. When we talk about subtraction, I am not asking you to tear your whole business down. That would be nuts. Start with just these 3 things: the dead weight, the energy leaks, and the vanity complexity. So what do I mean by these things? Dead weight, things like offers that rarely sell or maybe never sell. Content formats that aren't creating leads for you, just noise. And recurring calls or meetings, this is my favorite, that nobody really needs, but they're on the calendar every week because, well, they're on the calendar and they get carried through to the next calendar and so on and so forth forever. Energy leaks are things like clients who drain the life out of you, even when they pay well, or projects that feel like obligations instead of things that bring you into alignment, and tasks that live on your calendar as shoulds, but you're not sure why, and they don't connect to any real outcome. This is the thing I call vanity complexity. Program features no one asked for, and from what you can tell, nobody uses. Overbuilt technology, funnels and automations that make you feel clever. Oh, I'm so smart. This is going to be great. But they confuse your buyers. And elaborate back-end systems when you don't even have consistent demand for the front end. Subtraction begins life where the downside is minimal and the upside is recovering energy, time, and mental clarity that comes back into your field. Now, you know the 80-20 rule. 20% of what you do produces 80% of your results. The trick, of course, is knowing which 20% to work on. And it gets worse. Most people ignore the top 20% of the 20%. That's the 4%, and that's where real acceleration and real growth live. So I use a very simple frame, and I call it the 80/20/1. First, identify the 20% of actions, offers, and channels that are driving 80% of your results. Then inside of that 20%, find the tiny set that is truly disproportionate. Think of it like this. If I just did this consistently, the business grows a lot. Those activities. Now then ask, if I had to bet on just one main offer, one main channel, and one main metric for the next year, what would those 3 things be? I call that 111. I call that your focus spine. Now, everything else that's not on the focus spine is either supporting the spine, and those are good, keep doing them, or competing with the spine for your attention, and therefore taking attention from the important parts of your business. So let's define the focus spine clearly. It's the smallest set of things that, if you do them consistently, make the business grow. In the best case, it looks like this: One flagship offer, just one, and this is the thing you'd keep if I took everything else away from you. This is the offer that solves a clear problem and has a clear promise, a clear price, and a clear path. You'd have one primary acquisition channel, the one place where you commit to being consistently visible and valuable. You don't need to be everywhere. You need to be unavoidable somewhere. And one core conversion path, the simplest repeatable route from stranger to warm prospect to buyer. It comes in different forms. It comes like content, lead magnet, email, call, offer, or content, DM, call, offer, or maybe just a super simple webinar to an offer. The details matter less than simplicity and repeatability. So here's a key question for you. If I had to rebuild from 0 to 90 days and I wanted to win, what would my singular focus spine be? The answer is almost something similar than what you are running now. I said similar, I mean simpler. And it's more often much more powerful. And lastly, think of this as subtraction. Think of subtraction as a rhythm, not a one-off. The mistake people make is treating subtraction like a one-time detox. They do a big cleanup, they feel lighter, and then slowly they surely rebuild to the same chaos. Subtraction has to become a repeatable rhythm in your business. Now, here's a simple cadence you can adopt. Weekly, look at the things you're going to stop. Monthly, check your offer to make sure it's making sense and producing what you want it to produce. And clients, do these clients still belong in your business? And then quarterly, do a complete focus reset. Subtraction isn't an event. It's a discipline that keeps your system coherent. Now I wonder, does this feel threatening to you? If you feel threatened by it, you probably won't do it. So you really need to look into this. You probably believe that complexity equals safety. If I have more things going on, at least something I do will work. But the truth is the opposite. You're not shrinking your universe when you subtract. You're concentrating your field and concentrating your energy. You're taking the same amount of power and putting it through a narrower channel, just like a laser. This increases the intensity of your output. And that's what creates momentum and breakthroughs. Now, most entrepreneurs stay at a chronic, frustrating plateau because they only know how to add and not how to cut. Ruthless focus asks you for a small, very real act of courage to admit what actually matters, which means you have to also admit the things that don't matter, and then to have the courage to release what no longer serves you. And lastly, to trust that deeper in one direction beats shallow in 10 directions. So here's your next 90 days of ruthless focus. Scaling by subtraction is not about being smaller. It's about being sharper. If you take just one shift from this for the next 90 days, choose one main offer that carries the bulk of the weight of your revenue and your impact. Commit to one primary channel where you show up fully and consistently, and track one core metric that tells you whether you're on track or off track. Then ask, because it's going to happen, what needs to be cut, paused, or parked to protect this awesome focus? And who do I have to become when my attention, energy, and execution are no longer scattered, but aligned? Who am I going to become? You do not become scalable by being everything, everywhere for everyone. You become scalable by being undeniable in your one lane that actually matters. And you get there not by adding more. You get there by subtracting everything that isn't your true work. Thank you for watching and listening.